Good morning, this is Robin Bieber on the Crude Spread Talk on the 20th of April at 8 o'clock in the morning London time. And the charts in front of us at the moment are front-end WTI. And I keep this one up here, the first versus second, just to show what a destruction of value there is on the May-June down to minus 890. This is not going to have a positive effect on the June-July. Which is already below its key support at minus 450, and a move and close below there has it going down at least another $1 to minus 550. The 5-day gap's a little wide. I would expect volatility, but I would also expect selling to emerge anywhere near the 450 minus 432 level around here. And I'm expecting further lower numbers, particularly whilst the May-June, which only is going to run today, is in such a dire condition. The July-August has hit its target at minus 224, and it needs to move and close below there to have a target down to around minus 350. The 5-day gap is far too wide and was much too wide when it was down at minus 224, so don't be surprised by attempts to narrow it, and I suspect selling will emerge at around the minus 170 level, which is where the 5-day moving average comes in. There is a danger of a spike to the 8-day at around minus 150, but I suspect that will not occur. But the front end of WTI, not surprisingly, technically looks dire, and as if we're going to go lower. Now the DEC June WTI is below the key 201-204 level here, the 21 and the 34-day moving average. It's just slid below there. Whilst below there, and it's early days yet, whilst below there it has a target to 280. This line here and below there to 349. This is in not a good condition, and the 60-minute chart to the left here is beginning to look a little toppy. And if we move on to the DEC Red DEC, that is at the moment holding the critical 34-day moving average at minus 348. It needs to move and close below there to have a target to minus 450. And if you cast your eyes to the left here, this 60-minute chart is beginning to show signs of weakness. It hasn't confirmed it yet by the move on the stochastic, but it's looking pretty ragged and as if it would struggle on a move to, say, the 5-day moving average at minus 311. So the message here is WTI structure nearby looks very poor. Back end, the DEC June, DEC Red DEC is beginning to falter and wouldn't take much to be heading lower. On Brent, the June-July here is trying to recover. It's at minus 357, which is around about this level. It's above the 5-day at minus 370. It has no target lower whilst above the 5-day. If it slides below the 5-day at minus 370, the target becomes minus 402 and then down to around the minus 450 level. The 8-day moving average is strong resistance at around minus 333, and I would expect selling to emerge there. The July org, not dissimilar, holding the 5-day at minus 203. If it fails to hold that, it's going down to 240 and then 270. There's no upside whilst it's below the 8 and 21-day moving average around about minus 183, minus 184, and I would expect selling to emerge there. Now, if we look at some of the back-end stuff for Brent, and specifically the DEC June, failing. It's under pressure whilst below the 34-day moving average at minus 222, and whilst below there has a target to minus 287 with the potential to ultimately head for minus 392, the recent lows. Whilst it's below the 34-day, it's under serious pressure, and if you look to the left here, the 60-minute chart is suggesting a failure, and as if we are going to start to head lower during the course of the morning. The DEC Red DEC on Brent also low whilst it's below the 21 and the 34-day moving average, coming in around 383 to 377. Whilst below this area, the target is to minus 478 and then to minus 589. It looks like it's going to come under pressure this morning. Note the chart to the left here, the 60-minute chart. It's beginning to show that it's faltering and we should see lower numbers. So the outlook generally on crude structure is negative. That is all for today, folks. Good luck, good trading, and bon appetit.